the 300 million rise in AMC swaps, the loss of the AMC fair value by short sellers, and other things were talked about in today's video. First, let us look at this. There's nothing to look at, like everything else. Because of this, the consistent barcoding for AMC is what you'll usually see when you look at its price movement. Seeing how it stacks up against other companies in the same field will show you something very different. If you look at AMC in the short term, you will see that it is constantly being influenced, no matter if it's with the hours, minutes, or days. And no matter how well AMC is doing, it keeps barcoding and doesn't really show an upward trend. More importantly, though, the business is doing well even though the movie did well at the box office. When we look at the others, you'll see that they are really going up. Also, as we already said, there is no movement at all when you look at the days. Going to the movies is growing by 50 to 60%. As we already said, the business is doing really well, but AMC is down for the year. We can see that AMC is building a stronger base. But the chart doesn't show that, and it's clear that's what happened with the change we talked about. The clear use of these high-frequency methods to change AMC is one of the main reasons for its continuous barcoding. You can see the short-term AMC barcoding and the long-term reasons why AMC doesn't move this way. We have already shown that there is more to this. It goes without saying that we are only showing AMC one part of the trick. Let's look into this. It's time for a swap. So, if you look at AMC, you'll see that as of January 2025, the total amount of return swaps for AMC was about $843 million. This is the information that is shown to us, which is why I say somewhere. There will of course be more swaps that we might not be able to find, but are still operational. As of right now, the amount is $843 million, which is already a ridiculous amount for AMC. As we move from January to August 2025, we've talked about how clear it is that this is trickery. You will see that there are 1.1 billion return swaps right now. That's why we have 313 million more swaps now. Since this is the case, these groups and individuals keep telling you that no one is shorting AMC, manipulating AMC, or holding shorts in AMC. No one is connected to AMC all the time. It's clear that there is a problem with it. So why is it that the total number of return swaps for AMC is going up? We talked about how the real values of the shares and swaps were much higher than the market prices and the total yield. Swaps showed that a number of shares were not paid. So, we can see that the number of these shorts has been growing on their places. They are now taking on even more short bets and not covering, even though these positions are technically making them money. Since some of you might want to day trade, you should really ask yourself this question. If you short a company, you are up 60% to 70%. This is based on the stance we have seen them take, which is obviously their normal position. When the company you've been shorting suddenly shows very good fundamentals and is being pushed up by more than just the company itself. Do you want to keep adding short positions to a company that has strong long-term returns, or do you want to close your position and take the profit? It's also a very clear answer. You will close your short positions because AMC has shown that it will continue to rise, which is what many companies said would happen. If that's the case, and they've already made their money, why are these short sellers increasing their short position? This is just related to everything we've talked about so far. They can't. So that's why they're in this mess. To make sure they don't lose hundreds of billions of dollars, they can only increase these short bets. This will keep AMC's price low. Not because they think it will be simple to make money. The only thing that has been used to make these is what the data has shown. There will, of course, be some places that the public can't see. Also, remember that this is just one part of everything you look at. You still don't know everything about AMC. That being said, this is only 1.1 billion AMC trades. You don't know what the real number is going to be. When we look at all the data, it's like we've described what the CAT system is for. This is why these schools are always fighting the CAS system. They just recently realized what's really going on. The fact that their tricks have been made public and that we are clearly catching up to them is also against the CAT system. As you can see, Doug is stepping down while we are still here. Which means someone is losing because buying dips never makes people lose, but shorting dips does. We just recently talked about this and how we see you. We talked about Doug Sefu's resignation as CEO and how the basics of short sellers show they haven't been doing well. But the total return that is shown is just one more case of this. It's important to remember that they spend money almost every day to fund these jobs. The apes, on the other hand, only buy things, and there is no upkeep fee. Because of this, we're seeing a drying up of cash. AMC will make its Q2 2025 financial report on Monday, August 11th. This is more important than you might think. At the same time, we will hold a webcast about earnings on the AMC website. Please join us for the live stream if you want to learn more about the progress AMC is making. Of course, one of the most important things on this channel is to pay attention to the basics of AMC. This is true for everything else we try to show you about short sellers as well. I strongly disagree with those who say that the roots of AMC don't matter. The fundamentals of AMC won't cause the squeeze, but investors will be drawn to the company because of its good fundamentals. AMC would have to go bankrupt though, so there would be no chance of a squeeze. This will make you feel better about yourself, which will make the squeeze go faster. For this reason, one of the most important things is to keep track of income. There will also be a movie on our channel that talks about the earnings, if you have time and are interested. This way, no one will miss out or not want to go through it. Don't stress over it. But, as I said, the basics of AMC are still very important. Even with all of these other things, you still need to know about the market. Let's break it down now. In light of this, we said that Adam Aron is hiding something. You can see that Adam Aron has AMC shares worth $2 million right now. That adds up to about $6 million after taxes, or $4.55 million if you don't count a squeeze. That part, on the other hand, would be worth $900 million after taxes, or $1.2 billion. At a fair price, AMC would be worth around $600 million. He would certainly want his family to get $900 million instead of $4.5 million. Adam Aron has always done what's best for owners. This is to talk about Adam's plans for AMC. Actually, I'm bringing this up because Adam Aron has said in the past that he has information that keeps him from buying AMC stock, which could have a big effect on how much the company is worth. However, when we think about that, we can see that it will likely be good for AMC. Now, let's talk about Adam Aron's reasons. It's clear from this case that everyone has a different range when they hold this many shares of the company, even if you know what AMC's fair value range is. Some people have 300, 600, or 1,000. The squeezing price is also not being talked about here. Instead, the attention is on AMC's foundations and the mood of investors. If we think about the chance that buyers will be very optimistic and drive the price up even more, you can go from $100 to $1,000 or even much more. But it's clear that Adam Aron wants to raise the price of AMC. When you think about how much money he could make from those shares if they were to trade at $100 or $200. So, I've always said that Adam Aron's goal is to make AMC's stock more valuable. That's why he's been focusing on the basics, which are what investors are interested in. We also have a better chance of seeing AMC's real price discovery if we can get buyers interested. In addition, if we can see how the real price of AMC is found, keep in mind that many short sellers would go broke if AMC suddenly went up to $600. This would lead to the AMC squeeze. Because of this, I think it's important to understand how important it is for AMC to trade at fair value and how hard Adam Aron is working to make that happen. Still, thanks to everyone who watched this video. I'll see all of you soon.